What is up, guys? Fancy here. Today I am going to be bringing a review of the new patch notes. I have no idea which patch this is, but basically it's going to be the next one that's coming out. So if you're watching this now, I don't know, if you watched it later, this might have already happened. Either way, I'm just going to be going through some of these changes. I'm gonna focus on the ones that I think are gonna be really game changing, and I'll just really quickly go through some of the ones that are not that important. Alright, so the first change is gonna be going to the harpies. Basically, the harpies are just gonna get some attack damage increase on their second skill. It's not super important. The war bear, the water one, has that revive. He gets an extra 10%, not really super useful. The dark one, I think he has some utility now, that he has a damage that scales with the enemy's max HP, but I think there are still better monsters to use than him if you want a despair monster that can do damage that scales with enemy's max HP. But that sounds pretty specific. I think it's just because I have Marble that I can just use Marble for that, and I don't have to use him. The Infernals are going to get a little bit of damage increase, not super important. And this one, the wind and water ones are going to get a stun when they crit on their second skill. The wind one, or I think the wind one, is it the wind one that has hobo? Comto's made a bunch of typos on this. Like the Sylph, it says wind here, but it's actually supposed to be the light Sylph that gets that has double cyclone. So I'm not 100% sure if it's the wind one that has hull blow, or so it's the wind one that has hull blow. Okay, we good. So basically, this is another nuke skill. Infernals aren't really that good late game because their stats aren't really good. They're slow. They're really squishy, but early game you can maybe, actually no, never mind. They're not even worth using as farmers. Not a huge fan of Infernals. The Sylph, this is the light one that gets double cyclone. Stun chance increased to 15%, so it's like a 2-hit, 15% chance to stun. Yeah, the light Sylph actually has some good uses in TOA because although his leader skill only works in dungeons, if you can pair him up with other Sylphs, like the fire one, if you have the fire one. The light one, I know he was in Hall of Heroes, so a lot of people grabbed at least one. You can use him as a despair stunner because you can put despair on him, and his third skill already stuns, and he has an AoE with his second skill. So there is a reason actually to use him over Tyron in some cases, because he's light base, meaning that you can't get glancing hit, even if you're there's no element that he can glance against. But if you use Tyron and you're against wind monsters, there's a chance for glancing hit, 15%. So I think that's one advantage he has over Tyron. But then you can only pretty much just in PvP, Tyron is pretty much in every way better. But in PvE, on TOA, if you're doing TOA hard, the light Sylph might be a little bit better in some cases. The Harpoos are just going to, their attack card devo is going to get 2 turns. Ninjas are going to get a 5% increase on their damage of their first skill. Not bad. Especially when the ninjas, a lot of the ninjas only have 2 skills, like the fire one, the water one, and the other 3 have a third skill, but these 2 only have 2 skills, so they use their first skill quite a lot. A lot of their damage is going to be coming from their first skills. So people that use the water ninja to farm are probably going to be pretty happy with this change. The Amazon are going to get a damage increase, not bad. The wind one's going to get a 50% chance to silence on wind shot. I think that's either the second or third skill, I'm not super sure. The martial cat is going to get a damage increase, still not super good. Dark one, soul control, damage increase, still not good. The monkey king, the wind one, this is actually the light one. This is wind here. It's another typo. The light one's the one with giant net. Cool time is going to be reduced to 5 turns, so like, you know, whoever pulls the light and dark monkeys are going to be even more OP. The Drunken Masters, a bit of damage increase, not super important. This over here actually, the Minotaur's buff, is quite a huge buff. So if you look at the Minotaur's passive over at this place, the Minotaur, his original passive increases your attack power by 30%, and increases your attack power by 30%, and your attack power increases additionally as your HP decreases. You won't be able to receive any beneficial effects during battle. Basically, the second part of his passive is pretty much going to remain the same, but the first part, where it increases his attack power by 30%, it's going to be increased by 100%, which is like 70% more, which is a huge buff, in my opinion, if they translated it properly. But the additional amount gained through HP, like when your HP decreases, has been lowered. So yeah, I guess I guess it's a change. We're gonna have to see how hard he hits after the change. I'm not sure. There are some people with him, but not a lot of people have him, because he is a dark monster that you can only get off by in Dark Scrolls. And yeah, we'll see what happens to the Dark Minotaur. The Kobold Bomber, the dark one, the chance of silence has been increased from 50 to 70, and damage has been increased by 10%, so it's a little bit of a buff for the Fire Bomber. The Hell Ladies are gonna get changed quite a lot. The Fire one, the Wind one, the Dark one, their weakened defense one chance has been increased. So basically, there's a higher chance for them to armor break. I think it's their second skill. It's like a AoE armor break. So I guess this is going to provide even more utility for the Hell Ladies to be like an AoE armor breaker, and also like nuke really hard. The water one, the Eternal Scar, application of weakened defense, recovery disturbance on the last hit has been changed to the following. First hit applies weakened defense, second hit applies recovery disturbance. Okay, so basically, if you look at the Hell Lady right now, it's a double attack skill. Basically, now it used to be a single attack skill, but now it's a double attack skill. So I guess they made it like a 2-part damage, and the first one, the first attack weakens defense, and the second attack applies recovery disturbance. This is actually a huge buff for the Hell Lady, or for the Water Hell Lady, Beth. The main reason is because if you guys didn't know, armor break applies after the hit has been applied, like after the hit. So say for example, like Darien or something, you'll always notice that his when he hits, even if he armor breaks, like it still won't do that much damage. But then if he like procs violent and then hits the same guy again and crits again, it's doing like way more damage. The reason for this is because armor break applies after the target has been hit. So basically, this means that like if they split the damage by half, the second half of the damage actually has a chance to hit after the armor break has been applied. You know, meaning that you get a bit of a damage increase. I mean, you know, which is quite nice. Yep. Although I don't have her, I don't see her a lot. No one puts her on defense anyways. But yeah, more people use her on offense. I don't know. I probably get hit by her all the time. But I just don't know it. But yeah, I haven't really had a chance to see her in action, and this is really lucky to the people of like that own Beth, because I guess it's quite a nice buff. Yeah. Okay, and the water and wind one. Oh, it's not actually used water and light. The wind one doesn't have gouge. Basically, their second skill. This one, it crits whenever the target has a continuous effect. Basically, charges towards enemies to slash them all, inflicts critical hit on enemies with continuous damage effects. Yeah, basically, people with dots, this has a 100% chance to crit. If you're building her usually for attack, like most people just build her like Rage Blade or something like that to, you know, to nuke really, really hard. Yeah, basically, you're gonna have high enough crit rate to make sure you pretty much crit every single hit in the end game, anyways. So having this 100% chance crit is kind of wasted. But right now they're changing the skill to have 50% increased damage when the target has continuous damage effect, meaning that instead of like make guaranteed crit, if the target has a dot, it'll do 50% more damage, which is much stronger, especially if you have a well-ruined Beth. Yeah, really huge buff to the water hell lady, and actually all hell ladies in general are getting a nice little buff, because the fire, the dark, and wind ones, their second skill is getting buffed to like armor break more often. Alright, so we're moving on to the Taoist. The water and dark one, their angry wave, basically their second skill is going to get a damage increase. The fire, the wind, and the light one have burning desert. Damage increased by 16%, so it's a little bit of damage buff. So all the Taoists, their second skills are getting a little bit of a damage increase. Actually, it's not a little bit, like 15-16% is quite a lot. It's not a little increase. It's quite a huge increase. There's the fire one. The cooldown of the third skill is getting reduced by 1 turn, so it's 5 turns down to 4 turns. The wind one, the cooldown of his third skill is getting reduced from 7 turns to 6 turns. This is really nice, because he is one of his one of his weaknesses of the Wind Taoist. He is potentially a really strong monster for TOA, but his main weakness was that the cooldown of this skill is just way too long. 7 turns means that you're pretty much only going to be able to use it once in like one part of the level. Like, you can only use it pretty much once, and that's not really useful. You want to be able to use it as often as possible, keeping their attack bar to 0. Basically, this buff is going to make it so that he actually has the exact same third skill as Verad, the water dragon, who has like 1 turn less than him on the third skill. But now he's getting this buff, so meaning that he's gonna have the third skill pretty much the exact same as Verad, and you can decrease it to 5 turns, which is really nice. After they change him, I'm probably gonna be building him for TOA, because, you know, this is super strong. Definitely going to need this monster to climb higher in TOA. Super happy with this change. I'm personally really happy, because I have one of these in storage, and I have a bunch of Taoists stored because I thought I could use the Taoist to level him up. He had a lot of potential, and I guess I was just waiting for. I didn't expect him to get buffed, but I was waiting for like when I really needed him. And now that he's getting buffed, I'm even happier. So, you know, really lucky for me. The Barbaric King is getting the Fire and Dark one, Acts of Punishment. I think that's their second skill. The chance of stun has been increased from 25 to 40%, so 15% more chance to stun, and damage has been increased by 7%. For stun, 15% is actually quite a lot. Like the stun chance from 25 to 40 is really like it's a lot. It's really quite a lot. Meaning that the Fire and Dark ones are going to stun a lot more often. The Wind one, the Resentment, that's his third skill. The cooldown has been reduced by 1 turn. The Fire one, Summon Your Conviction, damage increased by 5%. It's a little buff for the Fire one as well. The Fire Polo Queen, Touch of Mercy, damage increased by 5%, which is, I don't know why. She's already nuking super hard, but you know, Comtos doesn't care. If she one-shots someone, she one-shots someone. It doesn't matter. The Wind one, oh, this is actually the light one, Brutal Order. Target HP reduction. Basically, you used to just give a target a turn and reset all his cooldowns immediately. But decreases their current HP by 50%. But now it's going to be changed to decrease their max HP. I guess in this way it's more of a buff. Because there are actually very few monsters that you can use to combo. I know some people use like the Ramagos thing, which is pretty... I don't know, it sounds stupid. I don't know, I have no idea. But like you can actually use this now as a kind of like a single target Jamara skill, but also makes it so they go immediately. So you can have someone like use a third skill, like say for example you have like Lucian or something, you can Ant Magic, Brutal Order, and then Ant Magic right away, meaning that you don't need like 2 Lucians. I guess in this way it's probably easier because like you don't have this way you don't have to like rune 2 Lucians. You can just have 1 Lucian, and then you can rune them with like all the best runes. And yeah, really lucky for people that actually have the Polar Queen. The Undyne, the Water Dark and Fire Dark ones, basically the Frenzy skill is the same skill, they just have different names, and the recovery amount is getting buffed by 5%. I'm quite happy with this because I use the Water Undyne, so you know, buff to monsters that I use, I'm always happy with. I'll take the 5%. Fire Elemental, this buff is crazy. Oh my god, like holy shit, what the fuck are they thinking? If I'm reading this right, this is crazy. I just have to find Collie. Okay, we here. Alright, this is one of the hugest buffs in the game currently right now. Wait, no. I have no idea what I'm talking about. This is currently one of the in the next patch, this is going to be one of the biggest buffs that's going to happen, unless they change something about this. Basically, the fire one, God of Fire, it used to grant self immunity, attack speed, attack speed, and immunity against harmful effects. So basically, this is going to be changed to like for 3 turns. So this is it used to be a self buff that has 3 turn immunity, 3 turn attack speed, and 3 turn attack power. Like, you know, it's like 3 buffs, 3 buffs in one. And they're basically changing this. They're changing it to be an AOE buff. So it's going to be for all of your allies. All your allies are going to get the attack power and attack speed portion of this buff, but it's only going to last 2 turns. But the immunity is getting changed to 1 turn. It's going to be a self buff for immunity, and then everyone gets the attack power and attack speed buff. In my opinion, this is way better. Like having attack speed for your whole entire team is really strong. Attack power, maybe not all monsters need the attack power, but like attack speed is definitely super useful. And the immunity, basically, you know, you might not be able to just like prevent being armor broken forever, but at the very least you have 1 turn of immunity. So like if you cast this, until you go next turn, you still have that immunity buff, you know. It's like OP and shit. The Viking buff, water, wind are going to be multiple throw. Basically, it increases attack power on every hit when you land as a critical hit. So, you know, if you want to build them with high crit now to make them crit and dot and increase attack power, which is, I don't know, still not that useful. Yeah, but nothing I can do about that. The cowgirl, the water rapid fire, 75% chance of decreasing attack bar has been changed to 65% chance of inflicting continuous damage. I think decreasing attack bar is in every way better than having a 1-turn dot. So well, I guess this is a nerf. I don't know why they're nerfing the cowgirls. No one uses the cowgirls. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're at the Ifrit part. Okay, the Ifrits. Actually, I have 1. I have like no, I have 2. I have Theomars and I have Veromos. The changes on the Ifrits are crazy. Like the water, wind, fire, and wind ones. None of the water, fire, and dark one, and light one. The light one's not out yet, but there's already like skills that are released for him. So like he's actually in the game, but he's just not released yet. Like he's in the game files or something, but he's not released yet. So he's actually supposed to have the same second skill as the water and fire ones, triple crush. Basically this skill just decreases like armor. It's an armor break skill, 30% chance to proc. This is getting changed to 50% base, meaning that like if you level it up, it's like 70. Yeah, it's like 70. If you level this, if you max skill this, is 70% chance to like armor break, which is really high if it's 3 hits. You know, meaning that you're pretty much guaranteed to armor break that guy. If you have some like a decent amount of accuracy on units. Although my Theomars doesn't have accuracy, he somehow still always lands it. Like not always, but like most of the time he lands it. And then there's gonna be the change to like the biggest change right here. Water Elemental King. When character receives fatal damage, the character is granted Endure for 1 turn. For those that don't know, Endure is this. This is Endure. Like Fedora's Decline, like is Endure. Like it stops you from dying, you know, like what other units actually have that skill? I think like there's like a light Joker or something that has this skill. I can't remember who has a skill with Endure. But basically you can't die. Like if you're about to die, he gets the buff that stops him from dying. You know, if this is translated correctly, and it is very possible it's gonna be like this. So you know, I don't know, maybe Comtus thinks he's like too weak and he gets hit too hard by like wind units or something, but now Theomars is already so strong. He's getting even stronger. He's getting a 2nd skill buff, and he's even getting his 3rd skill buff, making it so that you can't kill him first. Because if you kill him first, he gets the buff Endure, and then you know you can't kill him, and then he'll kill you next turn or something like that. Because he hits super hard. I'm super happy with this buff. This buff has made me, yeah, has made my week. The wind one, Mock Crush, the 3rd skill, is getting a damage increase. So it used to be 20% more damage for every buff. Now it's going to be increased to 30%. Oh man, just sneezed. Basically, you know, if you think about it, it's not just 10% increase. It's 10% increase for every single debuff. I just got so excited. I knocked my microphone. It's 10% increase for every single debuff, meaning that, you know, if you have like 3 debuffs, that's like 30% extra damage. You know, if you have 4, that's 40%. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it could get pretty crazy. Like it's 30% each. You know, think about it. It's, only like 40% is like 40% more. Like 40% stronger than he is right now. But you know, with this change, I might even build a win one if I pull him next. I'm really close to pulling my next Ifrit, so I'm hoping for the fire one because I kind of need his passive. But if I get the wind one, you know, I could build like a really cool like despair nuker or something like that. You know, just to try it out. The dark one, basically, this is the one that everyone cares about. This is the change that's like gonna affect every single person that plays the game and has Veromos. I think everyone has Veromos. For people that don't have Veromos, even after this change, still get Veromos. Like Veromos is just too good. You can't skip Veromos. Veromos and no, I'm getting off topic here. He's basically getting changed. Like he's too strong right now, kind of in the arena and guild battles, where he's like, if I'm in arena, I never hit this guy first. I always, pretty much like 95% of the time, I leave Veromos to last. just because I don't want to deal with this like 15% chance, 15% heal every time I debuff him. A lot of my units actually have debuffs, so even if I armor break him, he can like eat the armor break and then, you know, gain 15% HP. This is super annoying, and one of the reasons why I really don't like to like why Veromos is actually so good right now in PvP. Veromos is still going to be really good after the change, but he's just not going to be as good. I talked so much about it, I didn't actually even tell you guys what the change is going to be. Basically, they're changing the 15% chance, 15% heal to 3% for every weakening effect removed. So, like, if it's only one buff, usually, like, if it's an arena, there's only 4 people. The most you can remove is 4 buffs, which is going to be like 12% heal. Although it's quite a lot, it's just not going to be the same thing. Right now, Veromos is really annoying. Like, one of the reasons why I can't kill him first is, like, if my Bella armor breaks him, next turn he's just going to eat the armor break and heal 15% back. And if you pair Veromos with a healer, you just really just can't kill him first. You just have to kill, like, the Chasun first. I think like 90% of the arenas on Conquer are like Veromos, Chloe, Chasun, Darian, Brian, and Bella. Like, you just see this in every single arena. Like, I'm not even kidding. You go to the arena right now. I'm like ranked around 3,000 right now. Like, seriously, like, there's Vero, Chloe, Brian. There's Vero, Darian, you know. Vero, what's his name? Arnold, Bella, Rena. I don't know why he's using Rena. Yeah, this guy's kind of different because he's using Cat. Like Vero, Chloe, Bella, you know, you get the point. You guys get the point. Like Vero, Bella, Brian. This one actually only has Darian. Yeah, here we go. Vero, Bella, and then like 2 Nat 5s. What else we got? We got Vero, Chloe, and then 2 Nat 5s. We got Vero, Bella, Brian, Escher. Vero, Brian, and then like Arnold and Ariel. You know, you guys see the pattern here. You know, this one has Chasun, Vero, Chasun, Bella, Arnold. Like you guys see the pattern. Like, everyone is running Veromos. 90% of the teams on Conquer is running Veromos. I don't know. I'm not Guardian, but I have no idea. Like, probably everyone that has Veromos is probably running Veromos. I guess fighter rank is probably like this too. If you have Veromos, you're probably running Veromos. So he is just too strong. And in guild battles, it's kind of the same thing as well. Like, they're running Veromos in guild battles. Veromos is now going to be even weaker in guild battles because there's only 3 units, so the most he can heal is 9%. But he's still going to be really useful because he serves as a defense against like armor break. But the thing is, now you're going to be able to kill Veromos first if you want to. If you really need to, you can actually focus Veromos down. Which I guess is it's an okay balance. It's not going to affect Veromos that much in PvE because you're like running 5 units, and then usually like you're trying to take down like dots and stuff. Like if you're running dragons, your whole team is dotted. He's still going to heal 15% back. Yeah, I guess it's fair. The Sylphid, the Fire Sylphid, everyone that has one is really excited about this. Basically, the Sylphid's gonna get like an additional passive that adds on top of his or her 3rd skill. Basically, this is like if you die, you can heal someone back to full HP. Not really that useful. No one really uses it. The 2nd and 1st skill is like the 2nd one is a little bit different from the cases. It increases attack bar instead of healing. The 1st skill is the same as like all Sylphids. This one can actually, if you skill up fully, it can be reduced to 2 turns, meaning that you can use this every other turn. And the buff is that she gets a passive skill in addition to her 3rd skill. It's going to be part of her 3rd skill. And when she successfully like no, when she attacks anyone, like they get a 10% attack bar decrease. So it's kind of like Hua's passive, but it's 10%. But the thing about her is she has an AoE. She has an AoE that's on a 2-turn cooldown. So essentially every 2 turns you can use this, decrease the whole enemy team's attack bar by 10%, and increase your allies, your whole team's allies, by 20%. This helps you get so many more turns in the arena. I don't know. Like if you pair her up with like just imagine like pairing her up with some like bird and like other attack bar decrease, and it just stacks over and over. It's gonna be pretty crazy. And if you ruin her violent, and every 2 turns she's gonna be able to use this once. Like every time she procs violent, the next turn she can use it again. If she procs double violent, she uses it twice, and then you get another turn because your attack bar is full, and then you know you just keep going and going. It's gonna get pretty crazy. I think with a new change, I would either rune hers with like despair or violent. Probably violent's a little bit better because like the attack bar decrease is already a soft CC, and then you know you get to increase attack bar. So she's kind of like a mini Verd. Not as much attack bar increase as Verd, but she has a little bit of attack bar decrease. She also has like dots, which Verd doesn't have. Like Verd has like no utility besides the attack bar increase. And she also, if she dies, she can like heal someone to full, which is, you know, a bonus. And the last change on the list is going to be to Camilla. Camilla is the Camilla is over here. Basically, Camilla's her old passive has like 3 parts. The first 2 parts are still going to be the same. The third part is that she recovers 20% of her lost HP every turn. It's going to be changed to 10% of her max HP every turn. So, essentially, I personally believe that this is a nerf. Because usually when you're trying to kill Camilla, it's really hard to burst her down at like near the end when she's about to die. Because you know, she can proc violent and then suddenly heal back 20% of lost HP, and then another 20 of lost HP, and then it gets pretty crazy. But now she only heals back basically 10% of her max HP. You know, when she's like just a little bit away from dying, she's essentially almost healing back like 20% of her max HP anyways. So now it's only going to be like 10%. And yeah, in my opinion, this is a nerf for her. You know? Yep. And it makes me happy because I don't have Camilla, and I hate Camillas. I hate dealing with Camillas and Chisuns and whatever bullshit in the arena. The other changes are going to be to the mermaid AI. The fire one, I know everyone's complaining about the fire mermaid AI, like how she's really dumb and doesn't heal properly. I guess Comtos fixed that, and they're going to do it properly now. And so are the other mermaids. They're going to shield properly. The sky dancers, like Chisun, is going to get you know, better AI. She's going to heal more now instead of not using this. And like, yeah, the water one are going to prioritize like other people with inability effects. The high elemental, this is the light one. I'm not sure if people leave the light one on auto anyways, but basically it's going to be it's her skill is kind of like Chisun basically, but she's kind of squishy, so she gets killed much easier than Chisun. But she's a good nuker that has like a self-sustain, and she can actually like sustain someone else as well. The Epcon Priest, the Wind and Dark one, are gonna be like, you know, prioritize using people like using their block flow when people are suffering like inability effects to lower the turn. So this is quite good for like their AI. For the Sky Dancer, the Water one, the Wind and Dark Epicon Priest. And that is basically it. Biggest buffs in this patch, in my opinion, is number 1 is probably Beth. Beth got buffed really hard this time. Basically, like 2 of her skills got buffed, and yeah, her second skill got buffed big time. Second is Theomar's probably. Theomar's got buffed really hard. 2 of his skills got buffed as well. The second skill and his third skill, which is like gonna be super nice now, because now I don't have to worry about people like killing him in one turn. He's gonna be quite nice to use. And probably the third is the high elemental Kali. That AOE, that ally like AOE buff is just crazy. I think it's a huge buff for her. And then after that is probably the Sylphids, and the other ones are the other buffs to the other units are okay, but not as big as these. Biggest nerfs is probably to Veromos. Definitely, like Veromos is not going to be healing quite a lot. And then Camilla, who is going to be nerfed to a 10% heal now. Yeah, hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any comments, anything you want to share, if I made any mistakes, feel free to correct me. And I'm not the best player, and even the best players, they don't know 100% like of the game. So you know, please be nice to me. I'm sad. No, I'm not sad. Like, I'm so happy about the Amar's buff. And whatever units I have, the wind towers. Oh, I forgot that one. That one's huge as well. I'm really loving that. So yeah, super excited about the new patch. Kind of a little bit static because I myself am a Veromos user. I use Veromos in PvP all the time. I'm not sure how that's going to affect my guild battles and stuff, but you know, whatever. Like, just you got to deal with it. You got to deal with the nerfs. It's just part of being a player that plays like online games. You got to deal with like buffs and nerfs. Yeah. So tell me what you guys think. Comment below. Follow me if you didn't. I don't know how to be a YouTuber, but yep. Until next time. Happy summoning and peace.